I didn't get anything. And so I was so heartbroken because I had done so many interviews, you know, like I didn't deserve to be here. Like I wasn't smart enough to be here. I felt the imposter syndrome of feeling scared sometimes, of feeling overwhelmed. Hi guys, it is Dr. KiaraKiora here, back with another video. So, if you are new here, welcome. I have changed my name on all platforms, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. My name is now Dr. Kiora. Previously, my name was Kiora_Lemons. I have had that name for forever, but I feel as if after graduating from pharmacy school, I am this new woman. I am officially a doctor, and it's time that I walk into being called Dr. Kiara, as what most people call me from my social media. So all my names have changed. Again, if you are new here, I am a licensed pharmacist. I did 4 years in pharmacy school, and I originally started my YouTube channel because when I was lost, didn't know anything really related to pharmacy or really wanted to get into pharmacy school. I didn't see videos, I didn't have a mentor, I didn't see these things. And so I said that I would be that person when I get into pharmacy school so that people can actually see what that looks like. Now, with everyone on the bandwagon, everyone pretty much does it, but I will stay true to my purpose in making sure that I always continue to talk, continue to educate about pharmacy. And pharmacy has opened so many doors for me. And that brings me to this video. It's pretty much an update of my life post pharmacy school. And I'm excited to finally share some things that have been taking place. So let's get into this video. All right, guys, so let's get into this video. After pharmacy school graduation, which was May of 2024, let's actually speed up a little bit. Before I graduated, I knew I wanted to go the industry route of pharmacy. Why did I want to go the industry route? Just a lot of questions, because in pharmacy school, you learn so much clinical. And so typically you're supposed to go the clinical route. But there's a new route now, which is fellowship and industry. And that's the route I wanted. The reasons why is because while in pharmacy school, you learn so much clinical. But what I realized about myself and who I am is that I was going more towards like business operations, managed care, drug information, analytics. That's what I realized that I liked while in pharmacy school. While in pharmacy school, I also realized my P2 year that I needed to start, getting a little bit more experience. So I needed some type of internship. And with that being said, I did get an internship, but it was more so of like research based with Northwestern. And I really tried to get some type of industry experience. I did not get any. Gracefully, with my pharmacy school being very, south side of Chicago, minority, there was a pharmaceutical company, Astellas, that partnered with my school. And so I was blessed with the opportunity to get some experience within the pharmaceutical company. So for my API rotation, last year of pharmacy school, you go on rotations. Every 6 weeks for me, it changed. So I got 6 weeks to spend with Astellas Pharmaceutical Company in medical affairs. In my preceptor, she was African American, in medical affairs for publications. And I kind of got to see like, what is medical affairs? I knew before choosing that rotation that I wanted to go the route of medical affairs if I did go into industry. And you're trying to learn while in pharmacy school what is medical affairs, but I knew it was something related to educating. I didn't know who I was educating. I just knew it was something to educating. And I always told myself that if I did not go the route of pharmacy, I would have been an educator. I absolutely love to teach. So I didn't care who I was teaching. I just knew I was teaching. So while going through my P4 year, going on all these rotations, it was time to apply to fellowship programs. I applied to Rutgers, I applied to NCPHS, and I applied to Howard. I applied to 20 positions, all medical affairs, and I had 18 first round interviews. And then when it came to the second round, I got a little scared after that because I didn't have many second rounds, but I had 10 second round interviews. For those who are in the pharmacy profession, mid-year is around the December time. Typically, you're supposed to go to mid-year. Some of these pharmaceutical companies, fellowship programs will ask that you come in person to do interviews. I was asked to go in person to do 3 interviews, but I had 6 final interviews to do. And so at that point, I'm excited. I just knew that I was going to get something. Like, I felt like this was God telling me, this is for you. You're going to get something. I went to mid-year, had my interviews. They were very natural, much better than doing them virtually. I was also told that I was a top candidate for at least 2 positions. A week comes around where these institutions are supposed to let you know if you get accepted. I didn't get anything. And so I was so heartbroken because I had done so many interviews, really trying to put myself out there like, hey, this is me, like I really want this. And I didn't get anything. So I did apply to Howard. But at that point, when I started to do a few of the interviews, because with Howard, you're able to do some more interviews like around December, January. Like, Howard is not on the same path of Rutgers and MCPHS of making sure they send out approval letters by December. So there were some interviews by December, January, February. I went on a few more interviews, but I really was not myself. I really wasn't, because people were still, talking to me along the process. I had a coach, I had a mentor, but I had people who were trying to help me. People kept telling me to change my CV. People kept telling me to change the way I'm interviewing. It was just so much. It became so frustrating because I said, I can't be me in an interview with so many things that I'm told from everyone of how to be, how to act, what to say, finesse this question, finesse this answer. It was just too much. So I wasn't myself. I started to think of a second plan B. I was doing rotations in Miami. I was loving Miami during that time when I had these last round interviews. And I said, you know what? I don't want the fellowship anymore. I'm going to move to Miami and I'm going to give me some type of retail job and then we'll just go from there. But I want to move to Miami. Right when I was ready to make such a big decision of, we're going to start looking up jobs in Miami, I get an offer. I get an offer from Howard associated with GSK Pharmaceutical Company for a 2-year fellowship program. And I was excited, but I wasn't so excited because during the time of when you go on these interviews, there's so many programs. There's so many fellowship programs, but you go through these brochures to really identify. Do you want a 1-year program? Do you want a 2-year program? Do you want to move? Do you want to relocate? Is it rotational? Is it non-rotational? And everything about this fellowship program that I got an offer for, it wasn't what I had wanted for myself. And so I was excited, but I was still just like, I don't know. This is not really what I asked for. Is this really what I want? I was contemplating on, not accepting it. And I had told myself, funny thing, I said, well, we're supposed to have a Howard orientation. I got accepted in March. We're supposed to have a Howard orientation in June. I said, I have time to think about it. And if I don't want to do it, I just won't do it. I didn't have plan B after graduation. It was the fellowship. And so I went to the Howard orientation. I fell in love with the program. I fell in love with the people. And I just realized that over all those times of going through those interviews where I was told no, I prayed. I prayed every day, every night. It wasn't a day that I missed. And I continued to ask and I continued to pray that God guide me, move me in the way that you want to move me. I know I have a plan for myself, but I want to follow your plan. And getting closer to that date of that Howard orientation is when I finally realized, Kiara, you prayed for this, you asked for this. So you have to allow God to do what he said he would do for you. And so I trusted the process. I ended up having to move to DC because a part of my program is 2 years, but the first 6 months you're required to be in a hospital, get some clinical experience. And so I moved to Washington, DC for 6 months. I was panicking then because I said, how am I going to have an apartment on this check? DC was expensive. By the grace of God, my god sister said that I could stay with her and her family in the suburbs, in Maryland. That was absolutely amazing. Then we were told, all of the fellows, that first cohort, that we were supposed to relocate. So we were told that we would be virtual, but then we had to relocate. So that year, around September time, I had September, October, November, December, 4-ish months to figure out how I was going to get my first apartment, that I want to do furnished finder, that I want my first apartment, could I find someone to live with, like all these things. I didn't know what to do. Ends up I had to relocate to Durham, North Carolina because the GSK office is here. It's been a journey. And I remember when I moved, I didn't have enough money. I didn't. But I worked part-time. I worked my butt off to save up a lot of money to get this very nice apartment that I have now, to buy all the furniture, everything. I paid for it on my own, and it feels great. It feels good. I had time while in DC to study for my boards. I passed my NAPLEX on the first try. I passed my North Carolina license exam on the first try. Like, y'all, I have been working. I never stopped. Through the midst of it, of feeling scared sometimes, of feeling overwhelmed, at the exact time of transitioning from Chicago to DC, I felt that. And at the same time of transitioning from DC to my first apartment, I felt it all over again. It is now July of 2025. So I have been in Durham since January of 2025. It's been a journey. I am enjoying my home. I really am. It's my sanctuary. It's my peace. I do what I want. I leave what I want. I go where I want to go. I cook if I want to cook. I go out and eat by myself. I go to the pool by myself. A lot of it I do by myself. I do have 2 co-fellows here where I can do things with, but I remember years ago I was always just so scared to do anything alone. Now I love doing stuff alone. I actually would rather no one be with me and I'll just have me time. Transitioning to the pharmaceutical company, there were so many times where, again, I started to feel this feeling again. Like I wasn't worthy. Like I didn't deserve to be here. Like I wasn't smart enough to be here. I felt the imposter syndrome. There's so many things I felt with the transition that I was kind of wanting to give up. But I said to myself, what's the worst that could go wrong, Kiara? You really, really, really wanted to go this route of fellowship. And you've gone the route of fellowship. And I sit before you. I have no regrets. I'm so grateful. I am so happy with the plan that God had for me, because at 6 months, I am more confident than ever before, you guys. But I like to, be transparent with my experience, with my journey. I think a lot of people look at my social media and say, oh, her life is great. Her life is perfect. No, I'm human. I go through things that I don't have to share everything. I mean, I am a very vulnerable person. I don't mind it, but I go through things, and I'm actually learning to go through things more so on my own without having to tell the world about them. But I say all this to say, going from pharmacy school to any type of route, whether it's postdoctoral training, a residency, fellowship, or straight out starting your retail career, there are some hurdles. There really are some hurdles. I was this person in pharmacy school where I did so much. I did so much. And everyone around me, everyone on social media knew that, you know, they were just so excited for me to graduate. And we can't wait for you to graduate. We're so proud of you, blah, 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 blah. I finally graduate and I'm on a high, you guys. I'm on a high. Like, no one could tell me anything. I'm going out all the time. I feel like I had money. I was just happy. I was just doing anything. Like, I was on a high. And from that time frame of moving to DC and then moving to Durham, it had slowly declined because I was trying to figure out, who is this new Kiara? Who is this Kiara outside of pharmacy school? Kiara, what type of pharmacist are you going to be? Are you still going to be an influencer? Okay, you're going to this fellowship route, then what? What's after that? Kiara, are you involved in any organizations? What are you doing? You know, all these things start to come about of who is this new Kiara? And this goes for any and everyone who not even just pharmacy school, any medical school, nursing school. You know, you're on a high, you come off the high and you really question, okay, where does life take me now? And so, this is where I am now, a year and a few months out of pharmacy school. I love everything about my journey, everything. And what I want to say to others who are not sure if they want to go the pharmacy route, or if you are a pharmacy student right now and you're still trying to figure out, you know, what should you do post pharmacy school? My biggest advice, biggest advice, go down the postdoctoral route, okay? Whether it's residency or whether it's a fellowship, please do some type of postdoc training. I feel like you really set yourself up for so much more when you do training. I myself was just looking up jobs, not trying to look right now, but just looking up jobs in general. Almost everything that I see, yeah, it says clinical pharmacist, maybe on LinkedIn, but you have to look at the requirements. Some of them say you need to have done a residency. Some of them say you need to have done a fellowship. Now let's just compare. I have some people from my school who went straight retail route. There's nothing against going straight to the money, okay? Not saying that at all. There's nothing against going straight to work in the retail setting. But let's hypothetically say, if a person is, if a pharmacist is burnt out within retail within a matter of 2-3 years and they realize that's not the route they want, they can go do something else. There's so many avenues you can do with pharmacy. But let's say they do want to go the clinical route and they want to go into the hospital. Okay, well, because you didn't do that, there's no way you're going to be able to go to that clinical route because you didn't do a residency or you didn't do a fellowship. I just consider if you do not do postdoctoral training, it really limits you later down the line of, you know, the jobs that you can apply to, and most of the jobs may just be burnout. So that's just a tidbit of my advice. Going the fellowship route, I'm going to say Howard all day. Definitely being biased. But there are so many different programs. And what I also want to mention is right now it's July of 2025. I am creating my own business for the first time. It's going to be called, sounds so ghetto, Kiara. It will be called Pharma Coaching. I want to be a mentor to others. I want to be a coach to others. My journey is my journey. Your journey will be your journey. You have to go through some things to get to where you are supposed to be. Remember that God knew you before you were in your mother's womb. There has been purpose over your life. And so I want you to continue to pray and ask that God guides you, because it will be challenging, whether you go postdoctoral route or whether you go straight into working. It will be challenging with interviews to get your position. But there are some people who do not have help. Some people have mentors. Some people have a coach. Some people have somebody there. Some people do not have anyone there. And I used to be one of those people who did not have anyone there. So I have created this business. So it should be launched by August of 2025. So if you are watching this after August of 2025, please go check out my website. Go check out my website. See if anything is applicable to you or maybe your friend. But I realize that there's a gap. I realize that some people need help. And, you know, if you're in high school, you're trying to figure it out. If you're an undergrad, you're trying to figure it out. If you're already in pharmacy school, you're trying to figure out if you want to go the postdoctor route. I'm here to help. I'm here to help. So, this is my new life. At the age of 30, I will be here in Durham at least for another year. And, yeah, life is fun. Life is good. I realized that I need to make another video to educate you guys on what medical affairs is. I think that would really, really help since that is the route that I am in. But yeah, I really just want to update you guys on my life post-graduating, in that what's for you will be for you. There are many challenging times, many rough moments, many doubtful moments, but with the grace of God, you'll be just fine. So, I love you guys. As always, please continue to engage with me, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or even YouTube at Dr.KiaraKiora. And yeah, again, check out my website. Bye guys.